Welcome viewers. Donald Trump is growing increasingly irritated with the House panel investigating the January 6, 2021 riot as it lifts the curtain on some of its findings with public hearings that have garnered gavel-to-gavel cable coverage much to the annoyance of the TV-obsessed former president. In this video we will break it all down for you. But before we proceed, if you are new to my channel, please take a minute of your precious time to hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell to get the latest updates from us. Tucked away at his Bedminster Golf Club, Trump has spent the past week venting his frustrations to nearly anyone who will listen. He has also taken his complaints about the committee on the road, lashing out at the congressional panel during a speech to conservatives in Nashville last Friday. I don't understand why Kevin didn't put anyone on the committee, Trump has recently griped to those around him, according to a GOP source with direct knowledge of the comments, a reference to House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's decision to boycott the Select Committee after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected two Republican members he originally chose to sit on the panel. Trump's growing frustration with the absence of any hardcore supporters on the Select Committee, which has given the panel uninterrupted airtime and deprived Republicans of the ability to cross-examine witnesses in real time, is just the latest example of how the public hearings have gotten under his skin. The former president has previously complained about his lack of allies on the committee, though he has become especially exasperated over the last week with his inability to preemptively respond to the committee's findings without knowing what the panel plans to reveal during each hearing. Trump has also publicly and privately lashed out at former Vice President Mike Pence, whose chief of staff Mark Short and former top White House lawyer Greg Jacob have both been featured prominently in the Select Committee hearings, putting an unflattering spotlight on the pressure campaign Trump directed at Pence and others as he desperately attempted to stay in power. As the former president contemplates launching another presidential bid potentially, he has also become hypersensitive to how the hearings are being received by viewers and supporters alike, according to multiple Republicans close to Trump. The stakes are high. The investigation could not only cast Pence, one of his potential 2024 rivals, in a positive light as investigators underscore the former vice president's role in preventing a constitutional crisis, but it could also foreshadow potential legal trouble for Trump, who is already grappling with multiple legal battles unrelated to his role in January 6. Stuck in this high-pressure atmosphere, Trump has started to direct his anger at people both inside and outside his orbit, from McCarthy and Pence to his former chief of staff Mark Meadows and Attorney General Bill Barr. We have no representation on this panel, and of Trump's chief complaints, as of late, is centered on the lack of Republican representation on the committee. Cheney and Kinzinger, who were both appointed by Pelosi, are ardent Trump critics. McCarthy chose 5 Republicans for the panel, but Pelosi, in an unprecedented move, vetoed Representatives Jim Banks of Indiana and Jim Jordan of Ohio from serving on the committee since they supported efforts to overturn Trump. Unfortunately, a bad decision was made, Trump told conservative talk show host Wayne Allen Root. This committee was a bad decision not to have representation on that committee. That was a very foolish decision because, they try and pretend like they're legit, and only when you get into the inner workings you say, what kind of a thing is this? It's just a one-sided witch hunt. We have no representation on this panel. We should certainly have some Republicans, real Republicans. We have nobody on that panel who can fight back, Trump said earlier in the interview. In a way, the Republicans should be ashamed of themselves. The thinking among some of Trump's advisors, and even among a handful of far-right Republicans on Capitol Hill, is that it was a mistake to not have any GOP lawmakers inside the room pushing back in real time or providing insight to the former president and rest of the GOP conference as to what investigators planned to highlight in public hearings. Had Republicans been on the committee, they could have asked tough questions of witnesses, made procedural motions to disrupt the flow of the hearings, and would have had some advanced knowledge of the subpoenas, taped depositions and other evidence collected by the panel. What is your take on this matter? Please tell us in the comments, and remember to subscribe as well. Thanks for